Hello everybody and welcome to Front Row Think Tank for this week's video about World 15's rugby. So when I say World 15, I mean the team that played against Japan, I think in 2018, and played against the Western Force and brought back the Honey Badger for quite a thrilling game, I must say. I did watch them and quite enjoyed it. I'm talking to them about because they're a team that has been mismanaged and misused. You think of the Barbarians, a historical team that tours all over the world and plays against some of the biggest nations, and has a fantastic history and a very exciting brand of rugby. I mean, World Rugby and both Rugby Pass have done fantastic documentaries on them. If you haven't seen them, search them up. It's such an insight and it's such a lovely environment and is, a game I want to go see eventually. But now we're talking about the World 15, so they're just known as World XV. Their colours are usually black, green, or grey, black and green. Again, they're a mismanaged team. I think they had one tour before then in 1970 something and have played a handful of games, but have never been a centred organisation. And I think they should be. The reason why is because they could... This is my idea. The World 15, you have a squad of the size of about 30, 31, what you would take on a World Cup team. And you have to have one player from a different nation. Why? It's called World 15. You have to pick a different player. There cannot be one player from the same nation. Of course, there would be a loophole of players of different descendants. So say you could have Michael Hooper, but then also David Pocock, because David Pocock's from Zimbabwe, pretty sure. Sorry, David, if I got that wrong. Calling him David as if I know who he is. But this way, because after you've reached, I think, past the 20th position in World Rugby, you're going to have to start filling these players with players from unheard of nations. So that means you're most likely going to have to go searching for talent. And how do you find this talent in the first place? Well, here's my idea. To really start off the club, you're going to need someone to back it, of course. Say Twiggy Forrest, alright? He's happy enough to get in bed with the Chinese. I'm sure if he was to invest money in Africa, he could make some deal with some warlords and, help fund the team to do a tour through Africa and a tour through other dodgy countries across the world. So they would go around, they'd play a bunch of different nations. I would like to see them play every tier 2 and below ranked nation in the world. That way, you go and outsource, you find different players, and then after that whole tour of, however long that would take, then you bring in the one player from one country rule, descendant or otherwise. Alright? We call rugby a world game. It is always said that when you're in a bar and there are people watching rugby, you're among friends. I think it would be great to see that on an even stretched out scale. Say some kid from Korea finally gets to play with someone from Scotland, someone he's idolised, some big player like Stuart Hogg in this team. And they go around and they play an exciting brand of rugby, just like the Barbarians do, except it's a different culture and it just adds, and it's another team that can help tour around tier 2 and developing nation rugby team wise teams, because that way, if they play more regular fixtures against a higher brand opponent, and they will be a higher brand opponent because they will have players who will obviously some of them will be professional, most likely your first 15 and most of your match day 23 would be. But some of those extended squad members will get the experience of playing with them. The opposition will get the experience of playing against a higher caliber team on a more regular basis than they would have previously, usually just playing against teams of their own level. And all in all, I think it'd be a great idea for World Rugby to use this because, the gap between tier 1 nations and some tier 2 and below nations is just too wide, and we need to bridge that, because that way then we can expand the World Cup and we can to more teams, and we can keep expanding and bringing other teams up to be at a more competitive level. Now this one was a short video. It was just a little idea I was thinking about. I just want to hear your thoughts, so comment down below and let me know what you think. All right, this one's a bit of a wacky idea and a little bit out there, and I understand if not many of you care too much about it. But anyway, again, thanks for stopping by.